Welcome in to Indians Live, brought to you by your Northern Ohio GMC dealers. Here today in Minneapolis at Target Field, the Indians will try and win this three-game series against Minnesota. The series currently stands a game apiece. Indians 6.5 in front in the American League Central. John Gordon, Twins broadcaster, going into the Hall of Fame today, so a little bit of a late start. Originally, this game was supposed to get started at 10 after 2. Instead, it will start at 2:30, so we're with you right now on Indians Live. Hi again, everybody, along with Jensen Lewis, Al Pulowski. Pleasure to have you here as well. Well, last night, Jensen, a tough one to lose. You've got a 2-hour-plus rain delay in extra innings, and then you end up losing 5-4.
It's a quick turnaround, so a short memory. Both teams, I think, offensively, runs could be at a premium. You got the right guy on the hill. We know what Josh Tomlin's record's been after an Indians loss, almost guaranteeing a win. But it is Minnesota. It's the one team the Indians have struggled with all season long.
And we'll hear from Josh Tomlin with Andre Knott in just a few moments. First up, though, let's take a look at 3 things you need to know heading into today's game. First up, the Minnesota Twins against the Tribe this year, 5-3. All they have to do is play good teams. 10-5 combined between the Indians and the Rangers. That's their record. Against everybody else, 23-52.
Pretty crazy to think about, but hey, this is the big leagues. These guys, a lot of young kids trying to show that they belong here. You look at the numbers, the Indians, 6 of the 8 games, they've given up 5 runs or more. They've lost 4 of those 5 contests.
Second thing you need to know, the Indians still in first place by 6.5 in the American League Central. This is the same spot they were in before the second half of the season began. The only difference here is Chicago is now 8 back instead of 7.
And you see Minnesota, 7 wins in the division. We know 5 of those have come against the Indians. Really, it's been the offense for the Tribe within the division that's really helped them. That great record against Minnesota, though, only hitting .249. That's the lowest against any other team in that division.
Third thing you need to know, Josh Tomlin on the hill. He's been great for the Tribe this year, 9-2 overall. But on the road, he's been even better.
Yeah, he has 6 straight road starts pitching into the 7th inning, 2 earned runs or less in 5 of those 6 starts. And as we mentioned at the top of the program, when you've got a quick turnaround like this, especially against one of the toughest opponents, at least, that the Indians have faced this season, you want a guy that is reliable, that is dependent. That's been Josh Tomlin all year long.
And speaking of reliable and dependable, that's also Andre Knott. And that's where we're going right now as we head down to the field. And Andre, Josh Tomlin, you both pretty reliable kind of guys.
Hey, if I could be in the same elk as Josh Tomlin, I'm living a good life, because he's been reliable, and he's been most reliable into this 2016 after a team loss for the Cleveland Indians. He's bounced back. He's been the perfect pitcher after they've had a long night like last night. And I think for most in the dugout today, they're happy Josh Tomlin will be on the mound. You can look at the numbers, but one of the things that have stood out to me about what Josh Tomlin has done this year is his health. He's been healthy, and now he's trying to build upon that health now that we're into the second half of the season.
I think it was a much-needed break, actually. The guys we've had a good first half, and it was good to end on that kind of note, that going into the division, leading by 6.5 games. But that rest was huge. Start the second half with the second half off with a win, and hopefully the guys refreshed and they kind of got away from baseball, cleared their head mentally and clear the body physically, and come back ready to play.
For you, we talk about health all the time. For you now, have you been able to build up some strength now that you've been able to be healthy all season long and kind of build off what you've been able to do?
Yeah, I think so. I think when you go through the rehab process over the course of probably 2 of the last 3 years, for me, you're just trying to maintain as much as you can. And now that you're finally healthy, you're able to kind of make gains throughout the course of the season and stay that much healthier, and hopefully be healthy, and for the long haul, stay more consistent that way.
This Minnesota team hitting the ball really well coming into this series. Anything about them that's different than the last time you faced them?
I'm not sure. We hadn't faced them in a while till last night, and so for me, it's just go out there, stick to my strengths, and follow the game plan and try to execute pitches and get outs.
Best thing you did during the break?
Went to Kalahari with the family and hung out, and went to the water park and just relaxed with the family.
I think when you look at Josh Tomlin, the cutter will be big today versus these hitters from the Twins. And you talked about this yesterday a little bit, the curveball. And Jensen, the curveball was big yesterday for Trevor Bauer. I would think it could work that way as well for a guy like Josh Tomlin today.
Yeah, it certainly will, Andre, and I think that execution today will be something to watch, because it is a day game. these guys are going to have some tired arms. That quick turnaround, you don't bounce back as much. So with Tomlin being able to pound that zone, staying ahead, I think will be key. Something that also is key for the Indians today, they made a roster move. Tommy Hunter goes to the disabled list. Cody Anderson getting recalled. I think you would expect him probably to be a guy that could eat up some innings until that off day, correct?
Yeah, no, you've got it perfectly. Today was his day to be a starter. I think he's only been back for 2 starts as he was down a little while with some arm fatigue and some arm issues. He's here today. I don't know how long he'll be here, but he's basically here if the team were to get into a situation like they did last night. They would have someone to give the team some length. So because so many guys in the bullpen have thrown, I think it'll be interesting to see if Brian Shaw's even available today after pitching 2 innings last night and pitching the night before. So it's a little interesting. They needed depth, and that's what Cody Anderson will be able to bring today for them.
Well, we know that Shaw's probably going to lobby to try and get in this game. He's going to want to keep that scoreless streak going for sure.
Well, he's hot, so you know how that works with him. When he's hot, he wants to be out there.
All right, Andre, hey, good stuff. We'll look for your reports coming up with Matt and Rick at the bottom of the hour when the Indians take on the Twins here in Game 3. But talking about that bullpen a little bit now with Hunter on the disabled list, we don't know how long he's going to be out. Cody Anderson's here, more of a long man than anything. The Indians still trying to maybe figure out those middle innings. That, you know, the 8th inning Shaw taken care of, 9th inning Allen taken care of, but still innings 5, 6, and 7 when the relievers are needed. That still hasn't been ironed out.
Only a couple of games in the second half so far, but I think leading up to that end of the first half, we saw Manship, we saw Otero kind of getting the lion's share of those close situations. Zach McAllister still on the disabled list. Tommy Hunter going on the DL today. That's retro, though, to before the All-Star break, so he'll be able to come back hopefully earlier. And with the rest of the way this bullpen has shaken out, and you know, I know you talked with Tito today this morning, and Brian Shaw deserves a lot of credit for what he's been able to do. Last night was a fantastic outing for him, extended his scoreless streak. Dan Otero, let's not forget about the situation he was in. 2 runners in scoring position with nobody out. He gets out of that situation. That kept the game at bay. I mean, this game could have been over even before the rain delay, but had Otero not done his job, these other guys, they deserve a lot of credit. They're a big reason why the Indians are in first place.
All right, when we come back on Indians Live, every Sunday we give you the plays of the week, but today's something special.
Oh, special.
Plays of the first half.
Whoa.
We've got some dandies in here, and your chance to vote for the play of the first half on Twitter. That we'll have for you on Indians Live postgame, so make sure you stick around. We're getting you ready for the Tribe and the Twins today from Minneapolis. Live is brought to you by GMC. Visit your Northern Ohio GMC dealer for a test drive today. And by WB Mason, official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. Indians and Twins today here at Target Field. The warmest day of this homestand and weekend series thus far for the Twins, as we get a look at the picture-perfect weather forecast brought to you by Dot Camera, where the focus is on you. Might hit 82 today. Right now, 80 degrees, partly cloudy, a bit humid, but overall, great day for a ball game here in the Midwest. Once again, welcome into the show along with Jensen Lewis, Al Pulowski. Thanks for joining us as we get you ready for the Tribe and Twins today. And Jensen, we always have our plays of the week. So what do you say today? We do something a little bit different.
I like this.
A little bit special.
I like this. It's a great
idea.
idea. You would. Nice job.
Don't forget to vote on Twitter at Jensen Lewis for the play of the first half. Let's get to them. We have 6 candidates for you. You judge. What is the play of the first half? First up, in Philadelphia, back in late April. This ball goes off a Bauer, then watch Francisco Lindor make a great barehanded play.
Very Vizquel-esque with the bare hand here with the assist from Trevor Bauer. Take another look at this on Fox Vision. You can see it, and that was going to be just awesome. But how about this? On the other side, Lonnie Chisenhall plays it perfectly off the wall and a laser beam right in. Frankie with a nice snag. Good pickup, and they nail Cuthbert at second.
And we move on. Kendrys Morales up the middle. The Indians did this to him twice this year within 10 days.
Yes.
It's Lindor to Ramirez, and Morales out at first.
Yeah, don't hit it there. Memo to him. We're going to Kansas City. Don't hit it up the middle.
How about Rajay Davis patrolling center field in Detroit? This to end the game eventually. It would be a double play, and it would continue at the time the Tribe's undefeated string against the Tigers.
Yeah, you can see it. Rajay, we didn't know if he caught it at first. He bobbled but held on, and then he realizes, oh, we got a chance to double off the runner, Jason Kipnis. He throws it back into the infield, but Chris Jimenez wisely blocking the ball, cutting it down. He realizes, oh, we got to go over to first. That'll end your ball game, and that really broke Detroit's heart.
It sure did. And Miguel Cabrera, boy, I mean, we finally are getting him out this year.
Yeah.
How about in Atlanta, Freddie Freeman up the middle. Watch Francisco Lindor make a great play here to get this double play.
Yeah, and this is great because he had to get the ball out of his glove before touching second base to start that double play in the nick of time. Nice job turning it.
And finally against Detroit, ground ball. Kipnis gets it, goes to second. They get one, and Lindor, great turn, and get the runner at third base.
Lindor with really heads-up play right here. Knows that they've got a chance with Moya kind of stuck in the middle. Good feed to Hosey. They double off him at third.
All right, so those are your 6 candidates for the play of the first half. Jensen now will put those up on Twitter during the commercial break. We'll give you a moment to make sure you get that incorrect.
I got to pick 4 of those. There's only 4 options on the Twitter poll.
So make sure you vote. We'll have the results coming up on Indians Live postgame. Right now, though, let's take a look back to Major League Baseball's plays of the first half.
Unbelievable. And he makes the catch. He got it, and he held on. Oh, what a grab. Phillips, bare backhand. Did he get him? Yes.
Once again, Francisco Lindor. And that ball is caught, I believe. It is.
To the wall. Home run.
Oh, he pulled it back. My goodness. Yasiel Puig making magic in that spot this weekend. And a diving catch by Pollard. See you later. Number 3. What a show. What a show.
Playback is 7th Orioles home run tonight.
My goodness! Way out of here. It's driven in the air. Way out of here off the bat of Bumgarner.
Oh, tries one. Deep left field. It's out of here. The impossible has happened. They're getting greatness tonight. Here it comes. Swing and a miss. He has tied the Major League record with 20 strikeouts.
It's a no-hitter. Jake Arrieta has done it again.
Big, slow curveball.
That's our generation's Sandy Koufax.
You're going to hear some kind of thunderous ovation for Steven Strasburg. And the throw is wide down the line. And there we go to find second. Bautista picked on the wrong guy as O'Rourke came right at it.
And hits him, and Machado's going after Ventura. And here we go.
Uh-oh. Harper just get thrown out. Did Robinson do it? At the track. On! A home run for Robinson wins it in the bottom of the ninth.
High drive, deep left field off the bat of Melvin Upton Jr. And that is a walk-off win.
And what a throw. He holds on. What a play. And that ends the game. He's won this ball game. George Springer with a walk-off homer.
Swing and a high drive to deep right center field. David Ortiz has done it again.
You know, you could talk about every sport in the world, about athleticism and about skill, but after watching that, is there another sport that combines athleticism and skill like the game of baseball?
It's the toughest sport to play, and there's a reason why, but to see the eliteness of all of these guys and what they're able to do, especially in clutch situations, about as good as it gets.
All right, speaking of eliteness, when we come back, it is time for our Impact Indians here on Indians Live.
Don't even go there. Where you gonna
Go where?
Are you gonna put yourself in the elite category?
Yeah, would never think of doing
cut
such
that
a
off
thing.
of the pass right there.
I don't know what you're talking about. Right now, though, it's time for Indians history, brought to you by GMC as we go back to 1941. Joe DiMaggio had his record 56-game hitting streak stopped in a win 4-3 against the Yankees over the Tribe at Municipal Stadium. He went 0 for 3 against Tribe hurlers Al Smith and Jim Bagby Jr. Third baseman Kenny Keltner made 2 great plays to take hits away from DiMaggio. To you by GMC. Visit your Northern Ohio GMC dealer for a test drive today. Indians and Twins here today at Target Field, the rubber match in a 3-game series as we take a look at our MLB news and notes. How about Joe Torre, a former manager, telling managers to stop arguing?
Now, with review now, and really it's taken out of the umpire's hands, he's got a point.
Adam Wainwright looking great finally.
Yeah, and how about they need him more than ever, because even though the Cubs have faltered, Cardinals are still 8 games back.
And back in March, I thought the Boston Red Sox would win the American League East. They are making a run right now.
Well, they are, and to think that the Cubs, the way they started, Boston's the first team in Major League Baseball to score 500 runs.
Amazing.
Been pretty prolific, yeah.
Yeah, because the Cubs offense was so good, but that Boston lineup is now even better.
Exactly.
Welcome back. It is time now for our Impact Indians for today's game. This is where Jensen and I will each pick, along with the fans, the player that will have the biggest impact, we think, on today's game. So I'm going to go with Francisco Lindor. Great numbers against the American League Central. Plus, he's got great career numbers today, too, against the Minnesota Twins starting pitcher Kyle Gibson. 4 for 4 in his career. So I'm going with Lindor to have a big impact today for the Tribe.
All right, give me the guy on the 13-game hitting streak. How about Carlos Santana hitting .364 during that stretch? 6 multi-hit efforts, 4 homers, 9 RBIs. Of the 20 total hits that he's had in these 13 games, 10 have gone for extra bases.
Not a bad pick at all, and the fans have a pretty good pick here as well. Josh Tomlin, who's had a very good year. As a matter of fact, you can make an argument for Josh that he should have been named to the All-Star team with these types of numbers. Look what he's done within the division. He's 9-2 overall, a .350 ERA, and he's been the Indians' stopper.
Something to keep in mind today, his career numbers as a starter here at Target Field, not very good. 1-2 with a .748 ERA. Of the 4 starts, he's given up 4 or more runs in 3 of those.
Impact Indians scoreboard for you. I will let the numbers speak for themselves.
It is what it is. I mean, at this point, there's really not too much here. I mean, I'll give credit where credit's due.
There's not too much here.
Yeah, there's not too much here. There's not too much to really analyze there.
No, that's true.
I said I'll give credit where credit's due. You've had a good run of it, but you got to run out of steam at some point.
That was the best analysis you've had all year until that last sentence. When we come back on Indians Live, the starting lineups are in for the Tribe and Twins. We have those for you. There's Francisco Lindor, my Impact Indian today. It's good for him. At least he's not J-Lo, so he's got a good chance.
Oh, here we go.
We also have 3 keys for an Indians win. Stay here. By GMC. Visit your Northern Ohio GMC dealer for a test drive today. Let's take a look at the Papa John's countdown to first pitch clock today. It's the Minnesota Twins. It's Hall of Fame weekend. We are just over 10 minutes away as the Tribe will try to win this series against Minnesota.
John Gordon, he had the catchphrase, touch them all.
Well, John Gordon going in today. Torrey Hunter went in yesterday for the Minnesota Twins. We're back with you here live from Target Field for Indians Live, getting you set for today's game. Let's get you set with the starting lineups now as we'll take a look first at the starting pitcher today for the Minnesota Twins, and that's Kyle Gibson. This season, just 2-5, an ERA above 5. If you look at this matchup purely on paper, of course, the games aren't played as such, but if you do, the Indians should do well today against Kyle Gibson.
Well, some numbers to think about here. 23 walks and 57 in the third innings. 5 of the 6 homers that Kyle Gibson has given up have come right here at Target Field. It'll be a 3-pitch mix today. Fastball, slider, and changeup.
A couple of guys to watch in today's lineup for the Indians. Francisco Lindor 4 for 4 against Gibson. You see the 13-game inning streak numbers on Santana, and Yan Gomes hitting ninth.
Is today the day?
429, 2 homers, 4 RBIs in his career against Gibson.
Other guy to watch at the top, Jason Kipnis, also 455 against Gibson as well.
On the hill for Cleveland, it's Josh Tomlin. We've been talking about him. He's put up great numbers in the first half of the season. This will be his first start of the second half, and a great guy to have on the hill after a loss.
And the numbers bear that out, too, particularly in day game starts this year. He's 3-1, and you see overall this season, and about as reliable as it comes. He's going to pound the zone. He's going to get ahead. You heard Andre not talk about it. I think the cutter does definitely play along with the curveball as well.
Twins lineup for you, and some guys to watch. First of all, Kenny Vargas with 10 hits this season, 9 of those for extra bases. He's hitting 400, but against Tomlin, guys with success. Joe Mauer, who is not in the lineup today, he gets the day off.
Too, not in the lineup
and
as
Miguel
well.
Sano, both guys have had a lot of success against Tomlin, and neither one is there. So that's a break for the Tribe.
Yeah, good news. And I think, too, something to keep in mind also, with the quick turnaround, you know, a lot of these guys have some tired arms that could play well into Tomlin's arsenal.
All right, time now for the GMC On Deck Circle, brought to you by your Northern Ohio GMC dealers. First up for the Tribe, 3 keys here for an Indians win. Tomlin, when he goes deep, the Indians usually win.
And it's a day game, so you got to feel that he can probably get deep into this game at a very efficient pitch count. Both guys today, I think really getting strike one is going to be a key.
Next up, keep the Minnesota Twins in the ballpark. When they do not hit a home run, they are only 6-27.
I'll make it very easy for you, Al. The first team to 4 today, they're going to win.
I would agree with you on that. How about that? Hey, we agree on something.
Finally.
Well, it took us to the last segment. And finally win the series. The Indians going for their 8th series win on the road. That's very impressive here in July.
And it's amazing that with how Minnesota has played and what the record shows, that the Indians haven't beaten them as far as taking a series. So you look at today, again, another long road trip, but you can get started very well today. A happy flight if you can get the W. And you put the pressure back on Detroit and Kansas City, who are playing each other. Kansas City, you know, they're looking at that series starting tomorrow as a must-win, no question about it. But I think with the Indians, the way they're set up, you and I were talking about this before the break, how they set their pitching staff up. Yep. It was a direct shot right at Kansas, say, we're going for you, but they got to take care of business today.
We'll be in Kansas City tomorrow night, but first things first, the Minnesota Twins here today from Target Field in Minneapolis. Matt Underwood and Rick Manning have the call. They're coming up next. Andre not reporting. For Jensen Lewis, I'm Al Pulowski. Thanks for watching Indians Live. We will talk to you after the game. Make sure you join us then, too. Have a good one.
is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Baltimore. We are Ohio.
On a night Minnesota inducted Torrey Hunter into their own Hall of Fame, the scrappy Twins rallied to beat the Indians in extra innings to even this series at a game apiece. Who better to have on the mound after a loss than Josh Tomlin? Nobody. He'll try to pitch the Tribe to a series win next on Sports Time Ohio. After a night of rain, a gorgeous day in the Twin Cities as the Indians try to wrap up this series with a win against Minnesota before moving on to Kansas City. Hi again, everyone. Matt Underwood alongside Rick Manning. I got a question for you. If I was a general manager and you're a field manager and I told you I've got a pitcher for you, he's going to make 26 starts during the year, he's going to go 16-4 with an ERA just over 3, would you sign on for that?
Every day.
That's what Josh Tomlin's done since he came back from the disabled list a year ago.
Well, he's the guy you want on a mound after a loss. He's been great this year. I mean, he just pitches. He's not overpowering. He moves it in and out. He changes speeds, and it doesn't matter. You know, he will make some mistakes. He'll give up a few home runs. A lot of them will be solo home runs, but he's the guy you want on the mound. He's been great after Indians losses on the year. He's undefeated on the road. He's 5-0. After an Indians loss this year, he's 5-1. You go back to the end of 14, he is 12-1. So he's the guy you want, and Josh is whoever wins this game is going to win the series.
Rubber match this afternoon. We'll be back with the play-by-play as the Twins once again have a Hall of Fame induction ceremony before the ballgame, sending longtime radio voice John Gordon into their Hall of Fame today.
Cleveland Indians baseball is brought to you by W.B. Mason, the official office supplier of the Cleveland Indians. By McDonald's, I'm loving it. And by your local Toyota dealers, visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Will be a little late getting underway this afternoon due to the Hall of Fame induction ceremonies before the ball game for longtime Twins radio announcer John Gordon. Minnesota has taken the field behind pitcher Kyle Gibson. And before we take a look at today's starting lineups, we'll get the final word before today's first pitch with Andre Nutt.
Well, last night we had a scary moment down here down the third baseline where Mike Napoli was up to bat late in the game. He hit a foul ball screamer right down here into the stands. There was a young man that was hitting the forehead with the foul ball. He's checked out fine. Everything is good with him. But Mike Napoli this morning wanted to make sure he was okay. So Mike Napoli went out and he reached out to find out that the kid was doing well. Then he wrote him a letter, said, hey, I'm sorry about hitting you with the foul ball. Glad you were here. And at the very end of it, he put it, go try. He also gave the kid a bat, a glove, some batting gloves. Just wanted to make sure he was okay, and the kid is doing fine. We just wanted to report that so everybody know back at home. But everybody's doing well here in Minnesota.
Thanks a lot, Andre. Appreciate that update. I know a lot of the folks who were watching last night felt terribly about the situation, and they wanted to know what happened and what the update was. So that's certainly very good news as we get ready for baseball here this afternoon. And the Indians starting lineup is presented by Progressive. For Terry Francona today, Carlos Santana, riding a 13-game hitting streak, will be the leadoff man. Jason Kipnis bats second. Francisco Lindor will hit third. And it's Mike Napoli, Jose Ramirez, and Lonnie Chisenhall. Tyler Naquin, Abraham Almonte gets the start in left field, and Yan Gomes batting ninth.
And our Hyundai starting pitcher for this afternoon, Kyle Gibson for the Twins, a record of 2-5, an ERA of 5.02, 6'6", 220-pound right-hander, 28 years of age, making his 11th start. He has not pitched against the Indians this year, but he has made 7 starts in his career. He's 2-2 with a 5.77 ERA. And both of his wins against the Indians have come back in Cleveland. So at home, he's 0-1 and a high ERA in this ballpark.
Indians trying to win a series against Minnesota for the first time this year. Minnesota has taken 2 of 3 from Cleveland in each of their first 2 meetings. And so we're just about ready. Gibson into the line, and the rubber match is underway in Minnesota with a first pitch strike. In addition to his 13-game hitting streak, Santana has gone 4 for 10 in this series with a couple of runs batted in. Outside to even the count. The Indians start today with a 6.5 game lead over Detroit, 7 up in the loss column. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Had a little scare from Santana last night where he took a swing and went hobbling down the first baseline. Ended up being a cramp in his leg, which was good news. He stayed in the game and played all night.
Hits a high pop to shallow left. In comes Rosario, and he makes the catch 1 away.
Let's set the Twins defense for you behind Gibson. It'll be Rosario in left. Santana is in center. Kepler over and right. Nunez at third. Escobar is at short. Dozier at second. Vargas gets the start at first today with Suzuki doing the catching.
David Rackley behind the plate today. Alfonso Marquez is at first. Crew chief Larry Vanover at second. Chris Guccione is at third. Jason Kipnis takes a look at a fastball for strike.
Kipnis good numbers against Gibson, 5 for 11.
And he shoots this one right back up the middle. Dozier with a great backhand, but Kipnis beats it out for an infield single.
Make it 6 for 12 now. He did slow it down enough to where Dozier could get there, but didn't have the time to get Kipnis at first base, although it was good effort. He's going to slide, pop up, and make a throw anyway, but not before Jason beats it out. Infield single.
One on, one out for Francisco Lindor. Jason Kipnis has 5 steals on the year. He has been caught twice. Lindor
1 for 8 in the series, but he did score 2 runs in the series opening win. And another guy with good numbers against Gibson.
Yeah, 4 for 4, not too shabby.
No shift for Lindor. Twins infield pretty much straight up. Tries a bunt, but it's foul. On the year, Cleveland 27-21 on the road. Quick turnaround for everybody here this afternoon after last night's game. Went 11 innings and they had a 2-hour-plus rain delay.
Yeah, we got into, what was it, the 10th or 9th inning, and all of a sudden it started to rain a little bit. 2 hours and 5 minutes later. At least they were able to finish. We had thoughts that we might end up having to try and make it up or finish it today.
2-1 count for Lindor, and he takes a little low. 3 balls and a strike.
Well, Gibson, a sinker baller, sinker slider. You make him get the ball up, and that's exactly what Lindor is doing. He's forcing him to get the ball up.
Yeah, he's a pitch to contact guy. Only 41 strikeouts against 23 walks in 57 innings. And there's a chopper to second. Dozier goes to Escobar for 1, and the throw to first in time. Inning-ending double play. The Twins are coming to bat when we come back. Splashed afternoon in Minneapolis. The Twins starting lineup today looks like this. Eduardo Nunez will lead it off. Robbie Grossman batting second. He'll be the DH. Kenny Vargas hits third. Then it's Dozier, Kepler, Rosario, Eduardo Escobar, Kurt Suzuki, Danny Santana batting ninth.
And our Northern Ohio Honda starting pitcher, Josh Tomlin, 9-2 on the year. He is making his 17th start. He beat the Minnesota Twins this year once. It came here in this ballpark. He will be making his 3rd start. Had a no decision in start number 2. So Josh trying to continue to do what he does well, and that's pick the Indians up after a loss.
First pitch strike to Eduardo Nunez. The bullpen door is open, and the security guy's still standing out there on the warning track. They had to tell him, hey, get out the field, let's go.
I think he's a little tired from last night.
He's daydreaming out there.
Yeah. Could you imagine if a ball was hit out in the left center? He was just sitting out there. That would have been beautiful.
That have got his attention. Ground ball to short. Big hop for Lindor. And he'll throw him out.
Check the defense for the Tribe, brought to you by Jeep. In the outfield, Almonte, Naquin, and Chisenhall. On the infield, Ramirez, Lindor, Kipnis, and Napoli. Gomes is behind the plate.
One away for Robbie Grossman. Grossman, who went to spring training with the Indians, started the year at AAA Columbus, opted out of his deal, signed with the Twins. He's been a nice addition for Minnesota. Now the 2-0. Hard hit ball off the glove of Napoli. He recovers, and the flip by Tomlin, he just did beat him to the bag for out number 2.
Well, that's really a heads-up play by Josh, because he had to take that extra skip, because it looked like Napoli threw him a changeup on the backhand side. It's awfully bright out there today. Don't know if the crowd or the white shirts have anything, but the foot comes over, and you watch that extra step by Tomlin. Gets it and now tries to find the bag, and he did beat him to the base. So really heads up play by Josh. He gets over there, and that's one thing about him. Everything about the game he does well. You know, defensively he's good, holds runners well.
Kenny Vargas to the plate. Takes down low ball 1. And a line drive toward right center. That'll get down. Cut off by Lonnie. And Vargas with a 2-out single. Keys to the game are brought to you by Wayside Furniture. Tighten up the defense would certainly help the Indians last night, committing 3 critical errors. I should say 2. 3 errors total. 2 of them were critical. One of them cost him the game at the end. Brian Dozier to the plate with 2 down and a runner aboard. In there for a strike. That's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dozier has driven in 4 runs in the series. 2 Friday, 2 last night. Slowly chopped. Going to be a tough play.
Put it in your pocket. A topper. Not much you could do there. Made a good pitch. He hit it right down into the ground. It was just like a perfect bunt. You can see where Ramirez is playing. He's way back, so he had no chance. So an infield single, 2 outs. They get back-to-back singles.
Last night was the 3rd game already this month for the Minnesota Twins that ended after midnight.
The Night Owls.
And what's really interesting is that they've won them all, and each one has been followed by a day game, and they're undefeated in those games.
No kidding. Well, and those are good games to win.
Line to center. Naquin had him played perfectly on the setup, and the inning is over. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. After 1, no score in Minnesota. Minnesota. And for the Indians, Mike Napoli to lead it off.
Napoli drives it to deep left field, and the Indians will play from in front. He sends one to the second deck in left field for his 20th home run of the season. That was a no doubt about it shot to deep left field, and that is only the 7th home run allowed by Kyle Gibson in this his 11th start.
Boy, that's a good feeling. I mean, Knapp just put the bat down and started running. He knew as soon as it went off the barrelhead, that was right down the middle, and he punished it. See you later. Number 20 for Knapp, so he will tie Santana for the team lead in home runs.
Gives him 63 RBIs on the year. And Jose Ramirez looks at a strike. It's 0-2. Napoli 5th in the American League in runs batted in. Did he go? He did, and he is out number 1. A rare strikeout for Ramirez. That'll bring up Lonnie Chisenhall. He takes a strike on an off-speed pitch. Chisenhall 1 out of 6 with a run batted in the series. Shoots it just foul. Mike Sarbaugh with the good hands. Picks out a young fan with the soft flip.
Yeah, a lot of times nowadays you see the coaches just let the ball go by them and let the ball boys pick it up, and they'll, donate it to the fans.
Right back to the mound. 2 down.
Well, Indians baseball is live with the MLB.com at-bat app. You can stay connected all season with radio broadcasts, video highlights, stats, news, and more. Just download MLB.com at-bat, the #1 app for live baseball on your smartphone and tablet.
Royals and Tigers are tied 2-2. They're in the 7th in Detroit. White Sox out in Anaheim to take on the Angels. They'll be getting underway in just about a half an hour. Tyler Naquin looks at a first pitch strike. A couple of hits last night and 2 runs scored. Tied him up, and it's quickly 0-2. Boy, after giving up a long home run of 422 feet to Mike Napoli, Gibson has come right back. Struck out Jose Ramirez on 3 pitches, got a weak tapper back to the mound off the bat at Chisenhall, and now he's 0-2 to Naquin.
Yeah, that's the key for him, is to try and stay aggressive. Times we have seen him pitch, he can fall behind, he can go deep into the counts with a lot of hitters and throw a lot of pitches. But for him, he's basically a sinker slider guy. Go ahead and pitch to contact. Let your defense work.
Upstairs, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Strike 3 call. The inning is over. Gibson, not a strikeout pitcher, strikes out 2 in the 2nd, but not before Mike Napoli gets the Indians on the board first.
That'll be Friday, July 29th. The Tribe will host the Oakland A's. They'll be coming to town. Plus, Budweiser cans are $2 out in the district in right field from 5 to 7. And 10,000 fans will get an ugly Christmas T-shirt, courtesy of Papa John's. Just go to Indians.com for your tickets.
Josh Tomlin goes inside, ball 1 to Eddie Rosario here in the bottom of the second inning. Just a bit high, and it's quickly 2-0. Rope just fouled on the right side, and the count 2-1. Texas Rangers desperate for a win in Chicago against the Cubs at Wrigley. Cole Hamels has come out and struck out the first 6 Chicago Cubs batters for Texas. The Rangers have jumped out to a 2-0 lead.
What you need to stop that string is a pitcher to go out and throw a shutout. Although when who came back off the disabled list for Texas to pitch against him, the right-hander, just was it 2 days ago?
Yu Darvish.
Yu Darvish. He struck out 6 of the first 9.
Lindor from behind the bag throws out Rosario, 1 down. The last time Cole Hamels pitched at Wrigley Field, he threw a no-hitter.
Oh, wow.
Injury report brought to you by the attorneys at Elk & Elk. Tommy Hunter placed on the disabled list today. And Cody Anderson was called back from Columbus. Cody will be in the bullpen to give the Indians some reinforcements. Andre noticed last night that Tommy Hunter was not in the bullpen, but he was in the dugout. That ball hammered to right. Chisenhall will try to cut it off. Escobar flying around the bag, jams on the brakes. Good throw by Lonnie.
Yeah, he did it beautifully out in right field to get it and make the turn, the 360, and throw it to second base. Got his footwork out there done just right. If he would have went, he would have been a dead duck. Watch him get to it, let it track deep, plant, turn, and throw right on the money. So holds him to a single.
Let's go down to Andre with more on the Tommy Hunter move.
Well, Tommy Hunter basically during the rain delay of 2 hours last night, because he couldn't get out to the bullpen, he had an MRI during that time. It showed a small fracture in his back, so he flew home this morning to get it looked at some more in Cleveland. So that's why you have Cody Anderson here. And Tito wouldn't say it this morning, but most likely Cody Anderson's only here for a day or two because this was his day to start down in AAA, but they needed him for length in the bullpen because Brian Shaw also is down today after pitching in the last 2 games.
All right.
Yeah,
gotcha.
He went 2 innings last night.
And pitched the night before, too.
Tito said after the game last night that the plan was for Cody Allen to come back for a second inning, but you had the 2-hour rain delay, which nullified that. Paul Molitor wasn't happy after the game either. He didn't like the decision by Larry Vanover to call for the tarp with 2 outs in the inning with the bases empty. And the whole reason managers don't like that is because they know they're going to have to go back into the bullpen again as Suzuki gets hit by the pitch, and the Twins have 2 on with 1 out.
Well, he wasn't given any ground. I'm talking about Suzuki. There's a fastball. It had some movement going up and in. You know, for Josh Tomlin, that's just the 3rd guy he has hit this year with his control. He pitches inside a lot. But that one got away a little bit, so they'll have 2 runners on again with 1 out. First inning, they were able to put 2 on with 2 outs.
In the air to left. And Ramirez, or rather Almonte, had to go all the way back just in front of the wall to pull that down. 2 away. Danny Santana, not a guy you expect to drive the ball like that, but he put a good swing on it. You could see Almonte at first thought he had an easy beat on it, and then he had to really get on his horse a little bit.
Yeah, that ball looks like it's carrying. Well, he has glasses on the hat, so the sun wasn't a problem with there. I think the carry is. It looks like it's carrying very well. He has the sunglasses on his hat.
2 down, and Eduardo Nunez to the plate. Grounded to short his first time up. To second. Kipnis will flip it to Lindor. Only 2 teams in the American League have left more men on base this year than the Twins. They've already stranded 4 in the first 2 innings. Later in the game for Miller Time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Third inning, and Abraham Almonte will lead off for the Tribe. He's just 2 for 16 since coming back from the restricted list. That's in there for a strike. One ball, 2 strikes. Now, Almonte might have been looking out over the plate. And that ball kind of surprised him.
Effective pitch right there. Have an 0-2 count. And that'll keep you from looking out over the plate.
Down in the dirt. And that was a real close pitch. I think Gibson upset he didn't get the call. Full count.
Well, let's take a look at it on our Nissan pitch tracker. It's upstairs a little bit, a little high, but it was right down the middle. He jumped back after that.
3-2. Swung out and missed. Third strikeout already for Gibson. 1 down in the third inning.
Let's see what that pitch is. Looks like it might have been a changeup because it has him off on his front foot. Helped him out a little bit. Swung at ball 4.
Yan Gomes looks at a ball low and away. If you believe in things like the baseball gods, Yan Gomes has been in a tough spot, and maybe things have just turned for him. He's going to go for 2. There's the throw. He slides in safely. And Yan Gomes has himself a hustle double with 1 out here in the 3rd inning, snapping an 0 for 27 slump, and his teammates love it.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's the favor here, or the good luck right there, was Gibson sticking his leg out after that ball, because I think it would have been an out to the shortstop, but he kicks it, and a beauty goes into left field, and Gomes, being heads up, hustling his way into a double right there. That'll be his 11th double of the year. Good hustle to get yourself in scoring position.
Well, apparently I was on TV.
And he stops that streak, so that's very good.
Danny said Salazar's got the cape out. If you missed it before the game yesterday, the players held a little impromptu ceremony to try and please the baseball gods and turn some of the good fortune back Gomes' way, but it didn't work last night. But maybe, just maybe, a piece of good fortune will get him going here today.
Yeah, it's a start. It certainly is.
Yan was charged with an error that led to the winning run last night. It's a throw to the plate. Terry Francona said he just didn't look it all the way into his glove. Ball popped out. Mauer scored the winning run for Minnesota. Carlos Santana flied to left his only time up in the 1st. Low, 2-1. Our great clip of the game last night, Santana pulled a double past Mauer at first. That scored a pair, and at the time gave the Indians a 3-1 lead.
Yes, he did back in the 5th inning.
Santana has hit in 13 straight. Bouncer moves Gomes to 3rd, but now there are 2 down. Rick, when you've got a teammate, thinking back to your days in the clubhouse, that's gone through a slump like the one that Gomes has gone through, as a player, are you almost looking at him not with pity, but knowing that could be very easily be me?
You try not to think that way. Not at all. You hope that somehow, some way, you break a bat, you get a hit, something positive happens early in a ball game, because it could carry over. I don't think you ever put yourself in that place, because everybody's going to have slumps, and you go through it.
I guess I was thinking more from a standpoint of you have empathy because you know how tough this game is.
Yeah, I mean, you do.
It's easy to point fingers and say, well, that guy's killing us, but you know it could be you in that kind of a position.
Well, you just look at the other night when he hit 3 balls on the nose and had nothing to show for it. I mean, as a player, you realize, hey, those could very easily be hits, and you know how tough it is to get a hit. Sometimes it seems like there's 15 players out there playing defense when you're going through struggles. And here you go, it's a kick save by the pitcher, and you end up getting a double, and it should have been a routine out. So that's how the luck goes.
Jason Kipnis had a ball up the middle that Gibson deflected, slowed it down, but he still beat it out for an infield single in that opening inning. Now he's looking for the big 2-out hit. And Gibson, one thing I've seen so far here, Rick, he's effectively pitching inside to the Indians hitters.
The left-handers, yes. Well, the left-handers have had success against Gibson on the year. They're hitting like 309 coming into today, where the right-handers are hitting just 246, but he's making a conscious effort of staying inside on the plate.
It's all about making some kind of an adjustment. Now the 2-2. That's low and a full count. 0-4. So a patient approach by Jason Kipnis will give Francisco Lindor an opportunity with 2 down.
First walk for Gibson. Keep the inning going for the Tribe, though. See if they can add on to a 1-0 lead.
Well, you look at the Indians lineup, and you've got Napoli, who leads the club in RBIs with 62. Santana second with 51. Then Kipnis third with 50. And now Francisco Lindor right behind him with 45. Kipnis takes off, pitches up high. Suzuki's throw is high, and Jason Kipnis has his 6th stolen base of the year. So 2 now in scoring position.
Good time to run first and third. Even though they're going to throw through, they have to look that runner back at third, and they know it's the catcher Gomes, so they're not going to try the double steal there. But Kipnis, get going, get on your horse, get yourself in scoring position now for Lindor, and a base hit will get you 2. First and third, 2 out. Good time to run.
And Lindor takes a fastball right down Hennepin Avenue, and it's 1-2.
Hennepin, you've been out. You've been out walking
been
the streets,
long,
huh? Hennepin Avenue. I know where it's at.
The 1-2, and he jammed it big time. Easy out ends the inning. Tribe strands a pair, both in scoring position. Yan Gomes, though, snaps out of a lengthy 0 for 27. And his teammates are celebrating. The Indians are on top 1-0. Tonight on Fox Sports Ohio with the Golf Zone, presented by American Eagle Mortgage and Varmint Card. It's 8 o'clock on Fox Sports Ohio. You can ask him about tips for your game, but you got to ask him about the British Open. Maybe one of the best tournaments in a long time. The way it finished, a 2-man shootout.
It really was. It was almost like match play for those 2 guys going down the stretch.
Henrik Stenson and Phil Mickelson.
Mickelson shot a 65. You think he'd win it. But guess what? Stenson shot a 63.
That is incredible.
Exactly what Phil did on the opening round.
When you said it going into the final round, you said it was going to be like match play, and that's exactly the way they played it.
And boy, they were feeding off each other. It was, I'm sure, great to watch.
Robbie Grossman leading off this 3rd inning here at Target Field. Indians with a 1-0 lead. Minnesota's had chances. They've left 4 in the first 2. I know it's only the 3rd inning, but this game is taking the shape of all of the games that the Indians have played against Minnesota. And as Terry Francona said afterwards last night, and I thought he was very appropriate in his choice of words, he said every game with these guys is like a tug of war.
Yeah, that's true. Well, you got to try and get ahead early and you know, try and pull away from them if you can. They haven't been able to do that.
There's a rare walk by Josh Tomlin. Our stat of the game brought to you by Buick. You'll see what the Twins have done against both Cleveland and Texas this year, the top 2 teams record-wise, at least in the American League.
Well, they've beaten the Indians 5 times this year. They only have 7 wins in the whole against the Central Division. 1 against Kansas City. But boy, they have played tough. And you know what? Of the 5 wins, 3 of them have been walk-offs in this ballpark here.
That's right.
You know, the Indians have 6 walk-offs against them this year, and 3 of them have come against the Twins in this park.
Kenny Vargas, a base hit his first time up, came with 2 outs in the first inning. That walk to Grossman, how rare is that for Josh Tomlin? He averages less than 1 walk per 9 innings.
So I take it he's done for the day then. You're not going to get another one.
So. It's kind of funny, the numbers, 0.99 walks per 9 innings.
Well, I remember in his last start he had 2 walks, but 1 was an intentional walk.
He goes at Vargas. It's 0-2.
It's got to be hard for him. You go out there and the manager says put him on 4. Well, I can't. I throw too many strikes. Little cutter down and in that Vargas swings over the top of. He's been able to hit the low pitch in this series. He's had a number of hits down in the zone. So you see Tomlin elevating.
Tomlin always keeps an eye on the running game. Even if you're not much of a base stealer, he won't ignore you.
No, he will not. He throws over there a lot.
Went back in there, but missed, and it's 2-2.
I like what we had Sandy on, and when he was talking about pitchers that hold runners, he was using Josh as an example. He's got a short arm. He throws over to first base, and he never usually throws over there once he comes set. So that's when you get your lead off him.
Off the end of the bat, Tomlin races over, and that's out number 1. Grossman into scoring position. Three things that Sandy said make it tough to get a lead on a pitcher: a short arm delivery, an accurate delivery, and firm. And Josh does all 3.
Yeah, quick feet too. Guys that have the quick feet.
Brian Dozier dribbled one up the third baseline for an infield single his first time up. And there's a strike called. They've gone to the 9th in Detroit. Royals Tigers still tied 2-2. Dozier pops it sky high. Center field, Naquin calling for it. And tagging and going to third on the play is Grossman, but there are 2 down. Now, had there been nobody out, that might you might take a little issue with the way Tyler just sort of drifted back on that ball.
You know what happened? I was watching him before there. He was playing in a little bit, which I like. He let that ball go back. He drifted back on it instead of surrounding it, getting behind it, and getting your momentum going into the play. And, you know, it's tough to see out there, I understand, but you've got to get behind the baseball. You catch it about shoulder height so your momentum's coming toward the base.
Well, with 2 down, Max Kepler, the batter.
You'll see him, he catches it flat-footed, and that's when a guy knows as a base runner you can tag up. See, he's going back. He's got to get back and come in, you know, so that's getting there early. Now, I know it's tough to look up into the sky, into the sun and everything, but that's part of it. You have to learn how to do that as an outfielder. That'll stop guys from tagging up on you, especially he wasn't in very deep center field to begin with.
Yeah. Again, with 1 out, it's not a huge deal because you can still get out of the inning by retiring the batter here. Tied him up, fouled back.
Yeah, but it's good. It's something to learn. That's, you know, I should get behind there, and, you know, I'm sure somebody will say something to him when he comes in. Get yourself in position to throw the ball, regardless of how many outs there are. Just get into that habit where it becomes just instinct.
Tomlin maybe looking for a strikeout here. The 1-2 pitch. Kepler does a nice job to dig it out, stay alive. Kepler said last night in the, what was it, the 11th? Yeah, the 11th inning, he was just trying to get the ball in play to get that run home from third. And when he chopped it up the middle, he thought it was going to go through. But Joe Colon knocked it down. He recovered. And the throw to the plate was in time, but Yan Gomes couldn't hang on to it, and that ended the game. Up and in, 2-2.
I like he's staying inside on Kepler. Kepler's a guy that's been trying to serve the ball to left field all series long. Trying to stay on it, so he's pounding him inside, not letting him get the arms extended.
And the 2-2. Again, he goes inside.
Well, they brought in the extra infielder. Ramirez came in, and you have 5 guys. He's switching gloves. He's going to go right behind second base. So that ball, watch. If he doesn't touch it, it's right there to Ramirez. If Lindor doesn't cut it off, but there's the play of the plate. And you see Gomes get out of the way. I'm not so. He was. I think he wanted to get his leg out of there with that guy coming in as well.
Kipnis flags it down, throws, got him. What a play by Jason Kipnis to save a run. And we've played 3 at Target Field. The Indians won, the Twins nothing. Great stretch by Kip and an accurate throw.
Started him out slider that time after he hit the fastball out of the ballpark to lead off the second.
Down and in.
Wow, that's 7 seasons with 20 homers. That's pretty good. You mentioned 9 with at least 17.
Yeah.
Yesterday. But very good start to this year for Knapp in the first half. His goal to stay strong and do it all year long.
And a smash to third into the glove, and Nunez one away.
Well, season tickets offer the best perks, including savings and access to Tribe Rewards. And today's Tribe Reward TV code is Salazar. Visit Indians.com season tickets for complete details.
Jose Ramirez struck out his only time up on 3 pitches in that second inning. Takes ball 1. Jose has 3 RBIs in the first 2 games of the series. 2 Friday night, 1 last night. One ball, 1 strike. The 2-1 hit pretty well to left, but Rosario makes the catch. 2 away. In baseball, managers try to avoid using the phrase must-win game until it truly is a must-win game, whether it's the playoffs or you're on the verge of being eliminated from postseason contention. But we saw the Yankees just going into the All-Star break, and they won 3 out of 4, and they were feeling pretty good about maybe getting things turned around, staying alive in the race in the AL East or for a wild card spot. But they've come out flat. They've lost the first 2 to their series against the Red Sox, and Joe Girardi said last night, this is probably as important a game that we've had in July in a long time. Lonnie Chisnall with the 2-out single up the middle. And it's funny how quickly in baseball things can change when you're just sort of teetering on that are we buyers or sellers mode in July.
Yeah, well, the Yankees aren't used to being in that situation. They had to win 3 out of 4 to get to the 500 mark in Cleveland at the break. You know, but they came out of the break and they lost the first 2 to Boston, and tonight they're going to have a chance to face David Price. Tanaka will be going, so a good game. But yeah, when you start saying that, you don't usually hear Yankees talk like that. You know what I mean? So it's new territory, uncharted waters for them for the most part. But it's a team that you know, even when we saw them in Cleveland, to me, they look old.
Yeah, and I brought that up, Rick, because while Girardi did not use the phrase "it's a must-win game," that's what the headline reads.
Oh, yeah.
Girardi says Sunday a must-win game.
Yeah, well,
but that's not what he said.
Well, that's what New York's telling you. You know how the headlines go out there. That's unbelievable. Yeah, we get our chance to go to New York to finish up with the Yankees for 3 games in August.
Could be a different looking team by then.
Yes, it very easily could. I think it might be. Boy, Chisholm,
I thought he was going to go.
I wish he kept going. He had a good jump right there. You know, with 2 outs in the situation, you have nothing to lose. You got a 1-0 lead. You know, go ahead and take a chance sometime to go try and steal a base. He had and he stopped.
Naquin in the hole 0-2. Chisholm draws a throw.
See, now they're going to pay attention because you gave the fake throw, so they're going to, okay, we'll pay attention to him now and keep him a little closer from running, even though it's an 0-2 count.
Line
He's running. The pitch is down and in, and the throw nowhere near in time. And Monty can. No, he won't go to third. He'll stay right there. He's in scoring position with 2 down.
Exactly. He got himself in scoring position. But the key here, when you get to 2 outs, and if you got a chance to steal a base, or you're going to try to steal one, go as early as possible. I mean, that time it's going to give the hitter an opportunity. Now the hitter's down 0-2, and he has to swing at anything that's close. So now it'll give Naquin an opportunity, even though it's a 1-2 count. Chisenhall gets his 5th stolen base, and he hasn't been caught yet.
Yes, he did. And the inning is over. The Indians starting to strand some runners in scoring position themselves. They've now left 3, but they lead it 1-0. Wainwright, a 3-hit shutout last night, and a St. Louis win over the Marlins, his 10th career shutout. Last 3 starts, he's on a pretty good roll. The problem for St. Louis is the Chicago Cubs. They're 8 games back of the Cubs starting play today in the NL Central. Josh Tomlin goes to work here in the 4th with a 1-0 lead. 6, 7, and 8 spots in the order due for Minnesota. Eddie Rosario to lead it off. And Tomlin with a fastball in there for a strike. Off-speed pitch fouled away. 0-2. In the Motor City in the bottom of the 9th, Joakim Soria on for Kansas City did not record an out. Gave up a 2-run homer to Jared Saltalamacchia, and the Tigers beat the Royals by a final score of 4-2. High fly ball, center field. Naquin runs it down, 1 away.
So Tigers win 2 out of 3 in that series.
Detroit now 48 and 44. Kansas City 46 and 45. White Sox just underway in Anaheim against the Angels. Chicago has dropped 3 in a row. Eduardo Escobar singled his first time up, takes a strike. Back out of play.
Young kid caught it one-handed, never left his seat. They started clapping for him, and he's going like this. Yeah, come on,
I got
keep
it.
clapping.
Yep.
He's very nonchalant
outside. Breaking ball got him looking. First strikeout for Tomlin, and it's out number 2 here in the 4th.
Yeah, he locked him up with our Circle K strikeout. Watch the curveball come down and drop on the outside part of the plate. There it is. Gets the call. So Josh gets his first strikeout on the curveball. And out number 2 here in the 4th.
It'll bring up Kurt Suzuki, who was hit by a pitch his first time up. Shallow center. In comes Naquin, and it's Chisenhall. Comes over from right to make the grab. And Tomlin has his first 1-2-3 inning of the afternoon. It's 1-0 Cleveland. Levin Furniture. For the best deals on furniture and mattresses, shop Levin's. 1-0 Cleveland. 5th inning. Indians will have Almonte, Gomes, and Santana due up. Kyle Gibson has given up a hit in every inning. One of those hits left the yard for the game's only run, and now Almonte is erased for out number 1. That'll bring up Yan Gomes, who doubled off the leg of the pitcher Kyle Gibson, his first time up.
For Gomes, he's now 7 for 15 against Gibson. And there you go. Thank him for that kick. Hustled his way into second base, got himself a double.
Chased a high fastball. It's 0-2. Ground ball to third. Nunez slings it over. Pulled him off the bag, but the tag applied, and Gomes goes down in a heap past the bag. And now we'll check to see if he's okay.
It looks like that left knee he's
does
holding.
not appear to be all right. He went down in a heap. He's holding his shoulder, his knee.
He was running full speed, and as he flipped over, it looked like he caught the shoulder and the knee.
Man, oh man.
You know,
Vargas came off the bag to field the throw, and then just instinctively, as you see a first baseman do, swipe the tag back. But in doing so, he sent Gomes into an absolute free fall. And not only is he holding the leg, but the shoulder as well.
Yeah, the shoulder looks like he's in pain. Well, he probably landed on. Oh, he caught the foot there. And I don't know if he hyperextended that leg or not.
There's nothing good about that.
No, let's go. He catches his left foot here on the tag, and watch, he can't go out.
Oh. Yeah, that knee did not look good.
And then he lands on that
right on the
shoulder.
Full force.
Boy, the left knee and the right shoulder are what they got to be looking at right now. Man, that did not look good. And he is in some pain. And they're looking for a stretcher.
I'll tell you what, this is almost beyond comprehension as how difficult this season has been for Yan Gomes.
No question of anything going his way. We figure, okay, man, now he caught a break his last at bat, got a base hit, and now this happens. It has been one tough year for Gomes. Yeah, that he's not moving. He's not getting up.
And that's his right shoulder, too.
Yeah, his right shoulder and his left knee, because the Vargas at first caught that foot coming across the bag, and he couldn't get it out. That was going to be his landing foot. And I think that's where the hyperextension came. But right now, I think the shoulder seems to be more of a issue. I'll tell you, it didn't look good. Take another look at it, and you'll see the tag. It brings him off the bag at first, and that's where he catches the left foot. Gomes' foot went down.
That looks bad.
Yeah, it does. He didn't hit the base. It was to the side of the base.
But you could see when he planted that foot, all of his weight was going forward. So you've got an issue maybe with the knee, but it does seem to be that most of their attention is being focused on the shoulder.
Well, you can see for the Twins, the infield is just standing over there looking at Gomes and hoping it's going to be okay, but
looks like they're going to fit him up with a splint right away.
Yeah,
for that shoulder.
That doesn't look good.
I mean, a sling. Did I say splint? A sling. I think you're right, Arch. I think they are looking for a cart.
Absolutely. He's not getting up, or he would already. They're looking to cart him right off, and they're going to go get some X-rays and everything. They already have the sling on the arm, and that's, I think, the thing that hurts the most. His leg. Look, and no one's looking down there at his knee. That we thought it looked.
It sure that
like
to me looked bad.
The hype. Now there's a sign he's sitting up. Let's see if he gets up.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be complaining at all about the leg.
No, it's the right shoulder to me. It's the right shoulder that's a concern to me right now. There you'll see he comes down, and now watch how he lands.
Look at his body contort. Almost looked like maybe the shoulder was hurt before he hit the ground.
Almost looked like it went out of socket, didn't it?
Man.
And he comes down on top of it. So here comes the cart. Yeah, took him long enough.
So a lengthy delay here at Target Field on what has been just the latest chapter in a season of frustration for Yan Gomes. And the right shoulder, they've got ice being applied to it. Got him in a sling.
She's asking if he can get up on his own. Does he need help to get on that cart? And I'm sure he's going to get some help, and they're going to have to lift up the other side. Oh boy. Well, let's hope for the best here.
James Quinlan, the Indians' head athletic trainer, is with Gomes, and he'll be accompanying him, obviously, now to get x-rays and further evaluation will be done. They've got all of these ballparks now have tremendous
MRIs.
facilities on site.
Yeah.
So a lot of the information that they need, it can be done without even having to leave the ballpark. But that's just a shame. He's tried to battle through the ups and downs of this major league season. He's tried to put the brave face on. He was just saying the other day, he's like, look, I know we've got about 70+ games left. He said, I can't worry about the stats. I can't worry about what's done. All I can do is try to go out and help the team any way I can each and every day and not worry about what's already passed this year. And so he was trying to put the positive spin on it and just say, hey, this I'm just going to worry about today and let everything else take care of itself. And now he goes down in a heap, and who knows how long he may be sidelined.
Well, we'll find out something at
We
the
do
end
know
of the
this.
day before we get on the plane. I know that.
We don't know this, Rick. He's got a ton of those guys in that clubhouse that are in his corner. I mean, you wouldn't have seen the kind of ceremony they had the other day if he wasn't a well-respected and well-liked guy in that clubhouse.
No question. Well, like I said, let's hope for the best.
Well, in the meantime, Chris Jimenez will be coming on to take over the catching duties. There are 2 down, and the batter is now Carlos Santana. Down low, ball 1. And that ball's blistered to deep right field. Down into the corner. It goes off the wall, and he's going to be held to a long single.
Okay, 2-out single for Santana. 5th hit for the Indians. He catches a little sinker out there at the outside part of the plate, drills it to right field. Right off the wall, played well by Kepler.
And that'll give Carlos Santana now a 14-game hitting streak, which is the longest by a switch hitter since Victor Martinez hit in 15 in a row back in 09. 2 outs for Jason Kipnis, who takes a strike. Kipnis shoots one toward left field. Rosario won't get it. It'll get down. He will cut it off, and Santana has to stop at second base.
Well, Rosario has a very good arm in the outfield, so he was thinking of going to third. So he threw behind him. If Santana held his ground out there, he would have been able to go to third, but he gets back, dives in. He's in scoring position, 2 outs, so Kipnis gets his second hit, a backdoor slider that stayed up. Made it easy for Kip to go to left field, so he put a nice swing on it. So the Indians now with a pair of 2-out base hits.
Like the way Rosario, not only did he cut that ball off, but he rounded it so that when he cut it off, he was coming forward with his momentum.
Bingo. Yes, he was. And he has a very good arm. He had a ton of assists last year, if you remember. He was playing left and right.
Lindor shoots one to center field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Santana coming around third. He'll try to score. Santana's throw to the plate. Not in time. Carlos beats Danny, and the Indians lead it 2-0.
Wow, you talk about something happening quickly. And 3 straight singles, and they do it all with 2 outs.
All of this after the Yan Gomes injury.
Yeah, no doubt. And there's a pitch right there that was a good pitch by Gibson off the end of the bat. This is our Yellowwood bringing the lumber. And it's an RBI single for Lindor. Makes it a 2-0 game, and they still have runners at first and second. 3 consecutive 2-out singles.
after the game was delayed for, what was it, about 10 minutes?
Seemed like it.
Now Mike Napoli, who homered his first time up, hit a line drive to third for an out in his last at bat.
Well, he caught a fastball right down Hennepin Avenue, as you say, and he drilled it into St. Paul.
I like Minnetonka.
Okay.
Missed inside with that heater, and it's 1-1. Indians have out hit the Twins now 7-3.
Well, you said they had at least a hit in every inning, but this time they tripled up, and all coming with 2 outs.
And a little squibber back to the mound. That'll get him out of the frame. But the Indians add to their lead. Middle of the 5th. It's Cleveland 2, Minnesota nothing. And as expected, Chris Jimenez takes over behind the plate. We'll wait to hear the official word on Yan Gomes. It certainly did not look good when he left. He had to be carted off with his shoulder in a sling, his right arm in a sling, and an ice pack on his shoulder.
It may be a while that we hear anything about it, you know.
And Rick, you have to figure you're going to Kansas City, and even if he's out for a few games, I don't think you'd go with just the prospect of Carlos Santana as your backup catcher. So we may see Roberto Perez. I know he'd been rehabbing. I don't know if he's quite ready, but he might have to be ready.
Yeah, forced into duty. We'll have to wait and see, but
yeah,
what we see here, it doesn't look good.
Josh Tomlin has retired 6 in a row since the walk to Robbie Grossman that started the 3rd inning. Make it 7 straight. Andre Nat, he's on the hop down there, and he's got news on Roberto Perez, who's been rehabbing.
Roberto has played back-to-back games twice this week. I know I talked to him last night. He says he was feeling better. They were going to do that for another week with him down in Columbus, but he's been hitting the ball pretty decent, so there's probably a chance, because it doesn't sound like things are good right now with Yan Gomes down here. But Roberto has played in back-to-back games. I want to say Tuesday and Wednesday, and then Friday and Saturday he played back-to-back games.
Well, I'll get him up here and work him out and get him in shape in a hurry.
Hey, Andre, while we're at it, any news or updates on Michael Brantley and what he's been doing down rehab process.
Brandon's in the lineup, and it's funny. You're like on top of me before I even get to it. Brandon has first bat. I think he hit into a fielder's choice in his game with the Akron Rubber Ducks. They want him to play back-to-back before they take any steps further. So he is in the lineup today after not playing yesterday. He felt good yesterday. So really, I would probably say another 4 or 5 days before they really make a commitment one way or the other. While we're speaking of this, Zach McAllister left today because he's on the 15-day DL. He's traveling to Mahoning Valley to start getting worked out and trying to get his arm back in shape as he's trying to come off the DL in the next week or less, really.
All right, thanks, Doc.
Keep that phone working, boss.
I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn last night, but it feels like it.
Back into the crowd. Eduardo Nunez 0 for 2 today. Is grounded out and hit into a fielder's choice. Jam job, and it will be Ramirez who gets there for the out, 2 away. Got a note here that Ralph and John Tricasso from Akron, Ohio, here in the Twin Cities, watching today's ball game, and then they're going to go to Kansas City and check out the Indians in action against the Royals as well. Love it when we see the Indians fans on the road.
Traveling on the road, why not? It's amazing what they do. They like to travel. See, should be a good series in Kansas City.
It's a great road trip if you're a fan of baseball too, because you get to see not only the Twins' new home, Target Field, which is just phenomenal. They did a great job with this ballpark, but I've long been a champion for Kauffman Stadium in Kansas City. Even though it's not a new park, they did a fantastic job at renovating it, bringing it up to date. It's great setting too.
Great place to watch a baseball game, and they're drawing crowds galore, so it's a fun place. Then we head east after Kansas City to Baltimore, and they're in first place in the Eastern Division, so could be a very fun trip.
The 2-1. Swung on and missed. Great off-speed pitch by Tomlin. Look at the separation and the speed differential there at 74 miles an hour. You can see Grossman way out in front of it. Now the 2-2. Just missed inside in the full count. Popped him up center field. Naquin makes the grab. 9 in a row retired by Josh Tomlin. Cleveland 2, Minnesota 0.
Ugly Christmas t-shirt courtesy of Papa John's. Friday, Oakland A's will be coming to town. That'll take place July 29th. Budweiser cans $2 out in right field district from 5 to 7. There'll be Dollar Dog Night, post-game fireworks show. Just go to Indians.com for your tickets.
Jose Ramirez leading off inning number 6 and takes a high pitch for ball 1. One and one to count. Gibson, Minnesota right-hander, has thrown 73 pitches and 67%, almost 70% have been for strikes. He's kind of been what you expected he would be, which is aggressive, attack, and keep the ball on the ground. He's done that for the most part.
He's pitched inside is what I like about him. He's been able to get some easy outs, you know, right back to him. He busted a few bats. He's pitched to contact, but they were able to put 3 base hits up with 2 outs last inning to get their second run.
Up high.
And of course,
full count.
He challenged Napoli back in the second inning with the first pitch, and he hit it out of the ballpark. But you know, he's been on top of his game today.
Not a play. Gibson opened the season as the Twins' number 2 starter in the rotation. He's a big kid too at 6'6". Think about kind of like Doug Fister, right-hander, sinker baller, could keep the ball down.
He looks a lot like him too.
The payoff pitch. Didn't mean to, but that's going to stay
go foul.
Fair, according to the
Well, the first base umpire called it, but I mean, it's actually the home
plate. Yeah.
But you know, Vargas, it looked like he got it right before it went foul anyway, and that's when Tito's going to come out, and he's going to ask the home plate umpire, well, David, that's your call until the ball gets to first base. What do you think? Let's see.
That's a foul ball.
That could very easily be a foul ball. But you see the first base umpire calling it, and the home plate umpire, it's his call until the ball gets to the first base bag. It was, I mean, awfully close. It was an inch away, one way, either fair or foul. Let's see. If it's on the line.
That's a foul ball.
Well,
don't you think?
If it's on the line, it's fair. Any part of the white chalk. So who knows? It's close. I would just assume you'd see both umpires say the same thing, even though it's a home plate umpire's call, but he didn't say fair or foul.
And Lonnie Chisnall is going to have a base hit into right field. So the Indians have had at least a hit in every inning so far today. Time for our player profile, brought to you by Levin Furniture. Tyler Naquin was the American League Rookie of the Month in June, and he was blistering hot. All 9 of his home runs have come since his recall in June. And he's already got 9 homers and 5 triples. You got to go back to our man Max Alvis, the last Indians rookie.
How about that?
Close play as Lonnie just did get back. Chisnall 2 for 3. As once again he's bumped that batting average right back up to the 300 mark.
They will pay much closer attention to him this time after he stole that base back in the 4th inning with 2 outs and an 0-2 count.
And that was after they already knew that he might be going because he had bluffed a move earlier in that at bat. Called a strike. Just maybe grazed the outside corner. Upstairs. The Angels have jumped out to a 2-0 lead
over the White Sox in the 3rd inning. That was an Albert Pujols 2-run homer. Now the 1-1. And Naquin had a good cut, but fouling it back. Tyler hit his first major league homer on June the 3rd. And that came against Edinson Volquez of Kansas City, and that's who the Indians will face tomorrow night at Kauffman Stadium. Corey Kluber will go for the Tribe. Down and in, evens the count. Indians will have Kluber tomorrow night. Danny Salazar goes on Tuesday, and Carlos Carrasco scheduled for the series finale on Wednesday. And we'll have all 3 of those games for you on Sports Time Ohio. 2 8 o'clock starts, the finale at 2 o'clock afternoon start on Wednesday. Another close play. And a ground ball to short. Escobar booted it, and they'll get the out at second, but Naquin safe at first because of the misplay by Escobar initially.
Yeah.
In-game recap brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Mike Napoli led off the second with a solo homer to the second deck. Stayed that way until the 5th when the Indians strung together 3 consecutive 2-out singles. Francisco Lindor's base hit plating Carlos Santana. And Josh Tomlin has made it stand up. He has retired the last 9 in a row, and he's allowed just 3 hits. Abraham Almonte 0 for 2 today, 2 out of 18 on the year. His year has consisted of a few weeks. He was activated on the 3rd of July in Toronto for the series finale there. By no means am I offering a comparison between Abe Almonte and Michael Brantley, but it does give you at least some indication of how difficult it is to miss that much time and then just jump right back in the middle of a season.
No question.
Rip foul over the head of Sandy Alomar.
Well, at this level, it's elite, you know, and you can go down and you can play some rehab games. He was down in Goodyear, Arizona, playing for a while before he went out on a minor league rehab assignment. But even when you get to AA or AAA, it's not the same. Up here, boy, these pitchers, they can attack zones and they know exactly what they're doing. And when you've missed as much time, a half a year, it's tough to play catch up. I don't care how good you are.
Yeah, even as great a hitter as, say, a Miguel Cabrera, if he missed that much time, I wonder if he could just jump right back in and hit 350.
No,
I don't think so.
Nobody can. I really don't think so.
Up and away, 3-1.
He may get off to a good week or a good few games, but It'll catch up to you. I mean, you see guys that have played, let's say, the first 2 months of the season, and all of a sudden they go on the DL, they miss a couple of weeks and come back, and they still.
Takes a while.
Yeah.
3-1 pitch to Almonte is pulled foul.
You know, hitting is just about seeing a number of pitches and just getting a feel how teams work you and getting your swing, and so much work goes into it.
If Brantley makes it back, does it give him a bit of an advantage in that there's not a lot of maintenance to his swing? It's a pretty compact, simple approach.
You would think so. Things are simple and easier than some guys, you know, with their timing and their leg kicks, and Michael doesn't have that. Boy, we'll see.
Yeah. Runner goes on the 3-2 pitch, and a fly ball hit the center. Danny Santana might have misplayed it. He can't make the play. It hops over the fence on the dirt and into the bullpen for a ground rule double.
That means Naquin's got to go back. I mean, that's a bad break for the Indians. It bounces over. Naquin's got to go back to third, and boy, did he ever misplay that. Remember we said earlier with Rosario in left field, that ball is carrying, and look at it go. Look where he is, and he's walking and he's running. Now he gets on his horse and it bounces into the bullpen off the warning track. So he was fooled. Either that or he didn't see that ball off the bat.
Boy, that's a shame.
That's a guess. Yeah, he would have scored easily.
That you get penalized for hitting a ball over 400 feet. You lose an RBI on ground rule double. Those are the breaks.
Break for the Twins right there.
Well, now Chris Jimenez gets his first at bat of the day after Yan Gomes left. And there's a line drive base hit left field. That'll score Naquin. Here comes Almonte, and Chris Jimenez steps in and delivers a 2-out, 2-run single to make it a 4-0 Indians lead.
Well, he picked on a slider and he jumped on the first pitch, and I'm going to guess that pitch was elevated. Let's check it out on our TNT high-speed replay. It is the breaking ball, a line drive to left field. So Jimenez, one swing, puts 2 more on the board. It's a 4-0 Indians lead. So big hit for him after having to come in for Yan Gomes, who was carted off the field. Big swing right there for G.
Now Carlos Santana fouls it back.
Again, scoring with 2 outs. So all 4 runs for the Indians this afternoon have come with 2 outs. Oh, I'm sorry.
3 of the 4.
Yeah, 3 of the 4. I'm sorry. Napoli's homer.
Just now getting action in the Minnesota bullpen. I think it's the only guy that didn't pitch last night, Neil Ramirez. Carlos swinging a miss. It's 1-2. Boy, what a big hit for Chris Jimenez, though, coming into the ball game after Yan Gomes went down with an injury after he tumbled over the bag at first on an awkward play. He was tagged on the leg, sent him into a nosedive. No word yet, but he left in a sling, and his right shoulder had an ice pack on it. The 2-2. Popped up, foul, maybe foul. Might stay fair. It does. Nunez makes the catch. The inning is over. But Chris Jimenez puts 2 on the board with a clutch 2-out, 2-run single, 4-0 Indians.
12 and under with the purchase of an adult ticket. Kids tickets are located in the family deck at Progressive Field, home to the expanded Kids Clubhouse. You can get them at Indians.com.
Here's Josh Tomlin, who has been magnificent today through 5 innings, working on a 3-hit shutout. Only 1 strikeout, but he's been efficient.
Yeah, he's been able to get in that groove. Gave up a pair of 2-out singles in the first inning, then a 1-out single in the second, and then has just breezed. Got into a nice rhythm. And that's just what he does. He goes out there and he can have some very quick innings because he pounds the strike zone. And you know, the Twins are a team that they want to get aggressive with him, and I can see how you can be aggressive with Tomlin. He throws so many strike ones.
Hit foul. And it's 2-2. Well, the other thing about Tomlin, and we certainly talked about this before, it's nothing new, but for a hitter, he can be frustrating because you don't get a ball down the middle that you can hammer.
No, he works on the outside, the outer lanes of the plate. Look at that. I mean, and a dandy.
Both of his strikeouts have come on that curveball.
They sure have, and they've both been in the same spot to left-handers away. He comes back and wraps that curveball on the outside part of the plate and gets the call, and that's a pitch he just can't hit. He's a comfortable 0 for 4 for a hitter. He doesn't blow you away with the speed, but he just locates. He sinks it, he cuts it, he slows it down with the curveball, and he keeps you on the defensive, keeps you off balance.
Kia in the driver's seat. Brian Dozier's been one of the bright spots for Minnesota offensively. Sends this one in the air to right. Lonnie Chisenhall all over.
Take the sting out of the bat. Let him hit it the other way if you want to hit it out. You know, Josh Tomlin at his finest. There you go. Little off-speed pitch gets you to roll over on it. There's a fastball. It gets it in down towards the trademark. Cutter in down to the left-hander. He got away with one there, and he popped it up. And it goes to show you, you can throw one down the middle every now and then when you don't live around the middle of the plate, when you live on the edges.
I remember our old pal, the late Mike Hegan, used to say, you know, every once in a while as a hitter, you got to throw one right down the middle and you're fooled because it's the last place you're looking.
Yeah, you never look at the middle. That's so true. Now, see, there's one.
That's hit a ton, and that's not coming back. Max Kepler with just his second hit in the series. He was 1 for 12 before that swing. He gets the Twins on the board with a solo homer with 2 outs here in the 6th inning. That snaps a string of 11 in a row retired by Tomlin.
And let's see where the pitch was. It looked like it was inside a heater. He tries to get it in there. It's about belled high, but he just let the hands come through and hits it well.
That's not a bad piece of hitting right there.
Not at all. He just reacted in. It's a 22nd home run given up by Tomlin. And hey, you give him up, you give up solo shots, and you do because you're around the plate. So Minnesota gets on the board here with 2 out in the 6th.
Out of play. The official word on Yan Gomes is that it is a right shoulder injury. He's going to head to Cleveland. He'll be evaluated by our pal Dr. Mark Schickendance tomorrow. And a line drive base hit to left. Eddie Rosario keeps the inning alive for Minnesota.
This is the approach as hitters you have to take against Tomlin. You don't try to pull him. You stay back and see it as long as you can. and you take what is given, and that's a nice swing to take a base hit to left field.
Rip foul. Now the 0-1. High pop on the infield. The shortstop Lindor is calling for it, and the inning is over. Twins get on the board. A solo homer by Max Kepler. We played 6. The Indians lead it 4-1. Indians baseball is brought to you by Ford, built Ford tough. By the injury lawyers at Elk & Elk, proud partner of the Cleveland Indians. Call 1-800-ELK, Ohio. And by Adventure Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, Ram. Up to 25% off on 2016s. Save now. The Cleveland Clinic call to the bullpen has been made by Minnesota. Kyle Gibson out after 6 innings of work today. They'll go to right-hander Neil Ramirez. He's the only pitcher that did not pitch in last night's game for the Twins. Makes his 18th appearance on the year. You can see he's bounced around. He's been with the Cubs, the Brewers, and now Minnesota.
Yeah, he was claimed off waivers from Milwaukee on June 12th. Made his first appearance on the 13th for the Twins.
So here in the 7th inning, the Indians are on top 4-1, and Jason Kipnis will lead it off. Blowing away, ball 1. Kipnis singled in the first, he walked in the third, and then he singled again in the 5th.
down and in. Jason 4 for 10 in the series. Takes down and in again. 3 balls and a strike. Kipnis might have helped him out there on a high fastball. Full count. Tough one to lay off, though. Looks good coming out of the hand.
You have the 3-1 count. It's in your favor, and you're looking for the fastball, so you may at times go up and go out of your zone.
And the payoff. Hit pretty well to deep left. Rosario racing over into the corner and makes the catch. What a play by Rosario.
You can see that sun starting to become a problem, but he's going to try and put this glove up to shade it, and he makes a fine running catch going toward the line. And we have seen balls carry today, going to left field, center field. But a fine running catch for out number 1 here in the 7th.
Now Francisco Lindor, he's 1 out of 3. Drove in a run with a 2-out hit in the 5th. Takes outside, ball 1. Just missed outside. 3-0. Four runs on 10 hits for the Indians. No errors. They've left 6. 1 run, 5 hits for Minnesota. No errors. They've left 6. But so often the case in a major league game with a starting pitcher, best chance to get him is usually early. Minnesota left 2 in the first, they left 2 in the second, and then Tomlin started mowing them down. Ball 4. Lindor aboard with 1 out of here in the 7th. Tomorrow night, Indians will take on the defending world champion Royals in Kansas City. Kluber and Volquez, the matchup. Indians live with Alan Jensen live from Kauffman Stadium. Start at 7:30 and then the first pitch just after 8 p.m.
It'll be our 2nd trip to Kansas City this year. The Indians will also end the season there with a 3-game series.
Lindor was itching to go. He started and then stopped because the pitcher hadn't started his delivery yet.
Well, that's one of those things, you know, you get paranoid as a base runner because once you take off, he had him too. He had him timed perfectly, but he didn't see him move one bit, so he ended up stopping. And I can see how that can happen.
That feeling a base runner has in that instant must be similar to the feeling you have when you go out to pick up the newspaper in your hotel room in your underwear and the door closes behind you and you don't have a key.
Oh, I don't know if it's that. That's a bad feeling.
There goes Lindor. They pitch out. Suzuki's throw, and they got him.
Tito's going to tell him to stay there for a second. Let's take a look at it and make sure. But they guessed right. They figured Lindor wanted to take off in a 4-1 ball game, so they're going to pitch out, and they guessed right. And it looked like Suzuki took his time and gave a good throw. It looked like the ball beat him, But I'm going to tell you, this is a lot closer than what it looks.
It was very close.
Here we go. We'll get a look at this now, where the tag comes in.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? That's why it's always closer. They're not going to try and challenge that, but he just does get him right around the elbow before that hand can get into the base.
Mike Napoli homered in the second. Pops this one straight up shallow center. Out goes Dozier. He can't find it. The center fielder has it. The inning is over. Stretch time in Minnesota. 4-1 Cleveland. It's Miller time, brought to you by Miller Lite. Let's go back to the sixth inning. Abraham Almonte sent a towering fly ball that Danny Santana just lost track of. Indians had second and third, two down, and then Chris Jimenez delivered the two-out, two-run single that opened it up. Gave the Indians a 4-0 lead at that time.
Yeah, you thought they were penalized because of the double. Aikman had to stay at third base. But Jimenez comes up, hits the first pitch, and drives in a pair.
Man, if you're just tuning in, the reason Chris Jimenez came up with that big hit, he wasn't in the game to start. Yan Gomes started this ball game, but in the fifth inning, Gomes on a ground ball was trying to beat it out at first. It was a close play. The throw brought the first baseman off the bag. And when Kenny Vargas applied the tag, he sent Gomes into a tumble. Gomes injured his right shoulder. He left with an ice pack on that shoulder and his right arm in a sling. He left on a golf cart with medical personnel at his side. Nice play by Jose Ramirez. One down. In addition to that shoulder injury, it was a very awkward play, and you'll watch at the very end, the left knee also looked like it locked up on him. He initially grabbed for the left knee when he goes to the ground. That was his initial concern, was the left knee, and then almost immediately said, oh no, now the shoulder's hurting too.
More pain than where he landed on that right shoulder.
Now we've only received information that he left with a shoulder injury. No word on whether or not the knee is okay or not. We'll have to wait and see. 2 down, but it certainly did not look good on either front for Yan Gomes, so that's a shame. And you would have to imagine, Rick, that Roberto Perez is being sought out for a plane ticket to get to Kansas City.
I don't see any way that Gomes is going to be able to play in the near future. Just watching it again.
Yeah, that was awful. Never want to see that happen to anybody, let alone a guy who's been working hard and he's dealt with all the disappointment and frustration of this season as it has gone.
I was going to say, this is just the capper of a very difficult season for Yan Gomes.
My wife always said, don't ever say that phrase, what else can go wrong? Because sure enough, there is something else that can go wrong.
There's always something. That's true.
Jeez. Here's Eduardo Nunez, 0 for 3. Indians have pitched him extremely tough in this series. He's just 2 for 13. He was the Twins all-star. Keeping him off the bases is key because he's got 22 steals. Oh, what a beautiful curveball. He's had that just sort of in his hip pocket whenever he's needed to maybe throw it for a strike to get a guy locked up.
Well, he has 2 strikeouts today, and both of them have come on that curveball.
There was another one, but that one hangs high.
That was the left-handers. The curveball was.
Tomlin's 90th pitch of the afternoon is fouled right back. Count stays 3-2. Look at the efficiency in which Tomlin has pitched here today.
Yeah, and that can come up at any time where he can go out there and have a 9-pitch inning or even below. We've seen him have a 6-pitch inning, 4-pitch inning.
That's hit pretty well. Back goes Almonte onto the track and makes the catch, and the Twins go 1-2-3. We head to the 8th. It's Cleveland 4, Minnesota 1. Telecast is presented by authority of the Cleveland Indians and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Cleveland Indians. A beautiful day here in Minneapolis. And the Indians are now 6 outs away from their first series win against the Twins this year.
Jose Ramirez will face Neil Ramirez.
We've got Ramirez. We've got Santana.
The 1-0 upstairs. Angels lead the White Sox now 5-1 in the 4th inning out in Anaheim. Tigers beat Kansas City earlier today 4-2 on a walk-off 2-run homer by Jared Saltalamacchia in the bottom of the 9th. Tampa Bay beat Baltimore today 5-2. Orioles had their 4-game win streak stopped. Ramirez sends one deep left. Back is Rosario. He won't get it. It's off the wall. And Ramirez strolls into second with a leadoff double. Boy, did he hit that hard.
You know, the ball is really shooting out of here to left field today. He put a very good swing on it. He got a pitch, and I mean, he drove it, and I thought it had a chance to get out of here. You see, it's an elevated fastball. He's pitching from behind in the count, this Ramirez guy, and Jose gets another double off the wall at the 377-foot sign. That'll be his 22nd double. So a good way to start this inning. See if they can get him over and get him in.
You know, even as warm as it is, when you and I were walking over here today, we noticed the breeze was pretty substantial.
It certainly was early coming in.
So I don't know if that has anything to do with the ball carrying more to left than the left center, because we saw that ball Almonte hit.
That bounced over at the 411 sign off the track.
Not that Danny Santana played it well, but I didn't think it was going to carry as far as it did off the bat.
Well, you play a little deeper today.
There's Lonnie Chisenhall now trying to get him over to third. He's going to shorten, he's going to bunt, and he's going to bunt right into an out. One away.
Yeah, that's sort of he's got to feel bad. That's a wasted at bat there. You know, when you go up there, you have a 3-run lead, and you know, you'll just pop one up as a bunt. You can go out there and try and pull the ball and do everything. I'm sure he wants to kick himself.
Well, it looked like two from that side angle. The old bat's got to be, the barrel's got to be above the ball. He just dropped it down, and he just nothing he could do after that. Here's Tyler Naquin 0 for 3. How about Ramirez taking off for third? What a throw, and they got him. Oh, baby. Kurt Suzuki with a perfect strike to third, and that's what it took to get him, because Ramirez had a great jump.
Had a good jump, but it was a perfect throw. He's going to slide right into the tag. Nunez gets over there, and he's just going to let Ramirez slide right in. That you can't throw it any better than that. And you're right, he had a good jump. So now that happened quickly. A double, leadoff double, a pop-up bunt. The next pitch is steal third, and there's 2 outs and nobody on.
Naquin almost came out of his shoes. 0-2. Clobbered to deep center. Back is Santana. He's going to watch this one leave the yard. Tyler Naquin with his 10th home run of the year. He went down and golfed that baby to straightaway center field. And it's a 5-1 Indians lead. Remember, yesterday he went down and golfed one, and he hit one over the center fielder. Said it wasn't Santana yesterday, but the ball really does jump. Well,
look at this. Another one down in the zone, and that was middle of the plate. And Boy, I'll tell you what, Tyler's got surprising power. And now they go from trying to score a run, looks like they're out of the inning, he's down in the count 0-2, and he hits a home run. So there's your insurance run with one swing. Ho hum. And he gets his 10th homer of the year.
Now Abraham Almonte doubled and scored in the 6th. Tyler Naquin continues to tear it up. He takes that batting helmet off. You know, he's got the flowing locks. Somebody posted a picture in the clubhouse of the character from the movie One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Remember Billy Bibbit? I said Tyler Naquin as Billy Bibbit. I asked Tyler, I said, have you ever seen that movie? He looked at me like I had 3 heads.
Well, yeah, he doesn't know what it is.
Yeah, I forgot. That came out in like 1975.
Yeah, forget it, right.
Long time ago. But I told him, I said, you've got to watch it. It's a classic. It's an old classic now.
That's on our DVD reel. I mean,
that's a funny one. Jack Nicholson. The 2-1, and Almonte fouls it back. You start thinking about, I wonder who posted that picture. Well, the field gets narrowed because there's only a few guys in that clubhouse who even know about that movie.
How about Napoli? It would be my first guess.
I'm guessing Tito.
Well, okay.
Now the 2-2. Downstairs in a full count. And the payoff pitch to Almonte. Low, ball 4. The $13 district ticket presented by Sports Time Ohio includes your first drink. So grab your friends, head down to the ballpark, the corner, the drink rails and left. The district tickets, you can only get them online at Indians.com/district ticket. One of the most popular seats in the house, even though it's not really a seat. Here's Chris Jimenez now. And the count quickly 0-2.
Big hit for Jimenez. Back in the 6th inning. 2 outs. Runners at 2nd and 3rd, and jumped on that first slider in his first at-bat of the day to drive in a pair.
Chopped to short. Inning over. Indians get their 2nd homer of the day. This one from Tyler Naquin, his 10th of the year, and the Tribe's on top 5-1. By Conrad's Tire Express and Total Car Care. It's coming up next here on Sports Time Ohio. Alan Jensen live here at the ballpark at Target Field. We'll recap the ball game, get you set up for the big series tomorrow night in Kansas City. Josh Tomlin pitching into the 8th inning with the bullpen getting action behind him. And a first pitch strike to Robbie Grossman, who's 0 for 2 with a walk.
Yeah, and Josh looking to go 6-0 on the road this year. Coming into this game 5-0 with a 262. The only blemish on his card today is the solo home run back in the 6th inning. But once again, Josh Tomlin.
It's a solo shot. That's what, you know, he doesn't give up crooked numbers very often.
No. You know, he makes a pitch, you hit it out, it's okay. He come right back.
Next one.
There's the rallies. There's not a lot of rallies off of Josh.
Popped him up. Is it back and out of play? Well, Arch, 2 weeks from today, the Major League Baseball trading deadline. So between now and then, there will be much speculation. The internet will be rampant with rumors. And one of the guys that has already been speculated about is Rich Hill, formerly of the Indians, now pitching with Oakland, having a fantastic season. 5 pitches into his start today. He had to leave the game with a blister problem.
Wow. You know, he just came off the DL a few starts ago, 2 or 3 starts ago, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, they just pushed this start back because of the blister problem. They thought he was okay. 5 pitches into the game.
Got to be the curveball.
He had to call him, say, can't go. I don't know if it popped open again or what happened. It's on the middle finger of his pitching hand.
Well, he has that good curveball. You have to think with the seams, that's the one that's getting it.
I just wonder, like, how if that affects trade talks potentially.
Well,
I mean, I've never had a blister issue. Is that something that could linger?
I'm sure it could. You know, we'd have to ask a pitcher that. I don't know.
Got him looking. Oh, what a pitch by Tomlin. He's been fantastic. That's his 3rd strikeout of the day. And Grossman just shaking his head.
That's what you do with Josh Tomlin. You look for one pitch and you get another, and you're just saying, I can't believe it. What am I doing taking that pitch for? He has hitters talking to themselves. You know, oh man, I just missed it. I just got it off the end. I just got it inside. As I said, a comfortable 0 for 4.
Kenny Vargas had a base hit in the 1st inning, but it came with 2 outs. It did not lead to anything for Minnesota. Since then, he's hit a tapper back to the mound, and he was called out on that big curveball in the 6th inning. Left that one over the heart of the plate, and Vargas pulls it foul.
Got it just out in front. He said, hit it hard, just a bit foul. Tomlin trying to get into double digits, his 10th win today.
Struck him out. Back-to-back Ks for Tomlin. Gives him 4 on the afternoon, and there are 2 gone in the 8th.
This is the first strikeout for Tomlin with a hitter swinging the bat. The first 3 were called strikeouts. There's that little cutter down, and he likes the ball down, but he's just a little too far down out of the zone for him to hit it.
Tomlin just over 100 pitches on the afternoon. Probably his final batter of the day right here. And he starts him out with a big curveball for strike 1.
Get me over curveball. That's been a nice pitch for him today. His first 2 strikeouts came on that pitch, looking.
Yeah, he slaps that foul the other way.
You can just see the percentage for Josh Tomlin. He just continues to pound the strike zone.
He really puts the hitter on the defense.
Sure he does. 68% strikes today for Tomlin.
Dozier got a piece of that to stay alive.
You know, and you said earlier, Rick, as a hitter, you understand why guys go up. I want to swing the bat early in the count because he's gonna. It's not like you're going to work the count to get to 3-0 against him.
Yeah, and you look at it this way: he's not going to walk. If you get a walk, you're certainly not going to wait for one or try and make him work. The key is to get him early so he can't get out in front and put you away.
That breaking ball got a little too much of the plate, and Dozier's got himself a potential double. Yes, he does. That throw airmailed Kipnis. So Dozier's into second with 2 down, and that might be the end of the day for Josh. We'll see what Tito has in mind. Here he comes.
Well, he hung him a curveball right here, and he took advantage of it. Good hitter did. Dozier finds a way, gets his second hit of the day. He singled back in the first inning. So he'll get his second hit, and Terry's going to walk to the mound. He's going to take the ball and say, nice job, kid. Way to go. Another good start for Josh Tomlin, where he went 7 2/3 innings and gave up just 6 hits.
The new Indians pitcher will be Austin Adams. He's coming on when we come back. Great effort once again here today. 7 2/3 innings. He's allowed 1 run on 6 hits. He's in line for his 10th win of the year. And that record following an Indians loss when he pitches.
Go to 6-1 this year. Go to 13-1 since the end of 2014. So
if they hold on,
I'll tell you what, man, that's ace caliber. You know, you gave the numbers in the open. It'll be now what, 17-4?
Yeah, since he came off the DL last year. And that would cover 27 starts.
Just continues to go out there and do it the way he's capable of doing it. It's fun to watch.
Austin Adams, hard-throwing right-hander, facing Max Kepler, who homered for the Twins' only run in this game in the 6th inning. And he misses down and away 2-0.
You want to come in here throwing strikes. Got a 4-run lead. You want to be aggressive.
And that's in for a strike, 2-1. Threw it by him. 2-2. Austin Adams with a 2-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss with a 98-mile-an-hour fastball that looked like it was sinking at the same time. The inning is over. We go to the 9th, and the Indians are rolling 5-1. Is courtesy of Chris Jimenez, who stepped in a tough spot after Yan Gomes went down with a pretty serious looking injury. Jimenez came through in the clutch with 2 on and 2 out in the 6th, driving in a pair to push the Indians lead to 4-0. It was 2-0 at that time. Gave Tomlin a little bit of a cushion to work with. He's only allowed 1 run here today. Now we go to the 9th. Top of the order for the Tribe. Neil Ramirez on for a 3rd inning of relief work and a first pitch strike. Santana is 1 for 4. Now has a 14-game hitting streak.
That's a heck of a streak for Santana. So normally a guy that, you know, as far as hitting streaks go, you don't expect him to do it often because he walks a lot. And he's a big swinger.
His longest before this year was a 12-game streak 3 years ago that came in that unbelievable month of September that the Indians had.
Yeah. Okay. Well, he's going to a ballpark where he likes to hit again after we leave here, going to Kansas City.
That's right.
It's well in this park. It's well in Kansas City.
And he's in a good hitters count here, 3-1. Neil Ramirez doing a lot of heavy lifting here today when you consider he's about to go over 40 pitches at some point in this inning. Giving the bullpen a rest after everybody but Ramirez pitched in last night's 11-inning affair. Big bouncer to second. Routine play here for Dozier. 1 away.
Minnesota, they'll head out to Detroit for 3 and Boston for 4 after this game. This is the only the 3-day homestand after the break for them.
Jason Kipnis 2 hits today, couple of singles. He was the first batter that Ramirez faced when he came on in the 7th, and Jason sent a drive to deep left down toward the corner, and Rosario made a nice running catch.
That went off the leg of Kipnis. He appears to be okay. Well, the Indians with 2 more stolen bases here today. They're second in the American League. Only to Houston in stolen bases. But the old adage of stealing, you can't be afraid to be thrown out if you're going to steal bases. And they have had 2 runners thrown out trying to steal today. But you're not going to be perfect. You're not going to steal them all.
No, that's how you learn. That's how you learn to steal bases. That's how you learn pitchers to make moves. Ramirez, it was a perfect throw that got him at third base. And then you know what happened after he was thrown out? What's Naquin doing? An 0-2 pitch hits a home run.
Yeah.
So they get their run in anyway. No, that's all aggressive. That's the way you have to remain as an offense, as a team, thinking like that. Because you're thrown out, so what?
And when Lindor was thrown out, Minnesota guessed right. They pitched out.
They pitched out, right. So every once in a while you tip your cap. But for the most part, you stay aggressive. They've had the lead all game, so continue. They want to make it bigger.
Another foul ball by Jason. Angels putting it on the White Sox 7-1 in the 5th inning in Anaheim. Two balls, 2 strikes. Just now getting a right-hander up in that Minnesota bullpen. And I wonder how much is left in the tank of Ramirez. That's hit pretty well. Left center. Long run for Santana. He's going to watch it
pretty well. Pretty well.
Jason Kipnis going oppo.
Wow.
And the Indians extend their lead with the 3rd solo shot of the afternoon. Home run number 15 for Kipnis.
Boy, you put a good swing on the ball, and that one carried, and it hit the back wall of the bullpen. You know, you don't think he's going to hit it that far because this park can be tough to get it out of here. But boy, a nice swing, and the ball is definitely carrying today. So the offensive players, there you go. For Kipnis, his 15th.
And Lindor swinging a miss.
And the 3rd home run for the Indians today.
I'll call that one 417 feet.
Yeah, that's oppo that going that way.
High and foul and out of play. 13 hits now for the Indians, and they came out with their hitting shoes on today when you consider they had a hit in each of the first 4 innings. Then they had 3 in the 5th, 3 more in the 6th. The only inning today in which they haven't had a hit was the 7th. Two more in the 8th, including the homer by Naquin. Now another hit here in the 9th on the homer by Kip. Well, go back to Terry Francona's line about every game this year with the Twins seems to be like a tug of war. They've pulled them out of the pit these last 2 home runs. Lindor pops it up.
You better keep
Dozier makes a terrific play on the ball, and he just kind of flips it to Santana as if to say thanks for the help.
Well, you know what? You may think you want to catch it, but as an outfielder, you've got to help your guys. I know they're playing a little bit deeper now the way this ball is carrying today, but watch. It is so much tougher for that infielder to go out. I don't know if Santana could have came in and helped him out there. But boy, if you can, do it. Tough day for the infielders the way this ball is blowing out of here.
Well, speaking of blowing out of here, Mike Napoli blew one out of here in the second inning. Made it to the second deck in left field. His 20th home run of the year. And he's just 9 hits shy now of 1,000 career hits.
Boy, there it was. First pitch fastball. And that got out of here in a hurry. That tied him for the team lead with Carlos Santana with 20 apiece.
Tied him up. Good fastball. There's a high fly ball. Shallow right. Dozier out again. He says, I'm not catching this one. Kepler does. The inning is over. But Jason Kipnis dialing long distance the other way. And the try leads it 6-1. Game courtesy of Mazda. The Indians did not play well defensively last night, but they bounced back with an error-free game this afternoon. And Josh Tomlin did what Josh Tomlin does. He wins after losses. Yeah. And he gave him length today. He got deep into the game.
Another fine outing by Josh.
Austin Adams got the final out of the 8th inning, so he'll stay on to pitch tonight. Upstairs 1-1. Jose Ramirez goes over to second base. Eric Gonzalez comes in to take over at third. Hit pretty well to center, and Naquin makes a chest high catch. That ball was knuckling because it was a line shot.
Well, Josh Tomlin, let's take a peek at his craft with the curveball working very well for him today. Only walked one, struck out 4, and just continued to keep the hitters off stride. In, out, up, down, changing speeds, off balance. Can't be done any better than the way Tomlin does it.
Eduardo Escobar is 1 for 3. Quickly, the count is 0-2. Weak tapper to first. Napoli's right there at the bag, 2 down. Well, Austin Adams has come on, done a nice job. He got called back when they put Zach McAllister on the DL. You may have heard earlier, Zach has just gone out to try to get himself started on a rehab stint. Down at AAA, Adams, it's tough to figure sometimes. You watch his arm at 98 miles an hour, you wonder sometimes, how does anybody hit him? But his ERA is over 4 in 24 relief appearances. He's given up 31 hits in 28 innings. But he does have 6 saves. I guess with him, it comes down to being able to locate that fastball.
Bingo.
It may be overpowering at times, but not if it's
straight though too.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I mean, if you to control it, I would take a few miles an hour off that fastball if it can give you better location on moving that ball in and out. That's the key. If you can use both spots of the plate on both sides, the outside corner, down on the inside, you'll be just fine. But you know, a lot of times when you throw that hard, it's maximum effort every time, and you got to repeat your delivery. He has a slide or 2 to go with it, and I don't know, maybe it's a matter of him feeling comfortable up at this level. But when you have that kind of stuff, you should be able to get outs.
Well, he's retired all 3 batters that he has faced here today. And now the 2-1 to Suzuki is a chopper to short. Lindor sets and throws, and the Indians take 2 of 3 from Minnesota, winning a series against the Twins for the first time this year. And they maintain their stranglehold on the top spot in the American League Central Division as they move to 54-37 on the year. Winning pitcher is Josh Tomlin. He goes to 10-2. The loser, Kyle Gibson, is now 2-6. The loss will send Minnesota on their road trip with a record of 33-58. So all in all, a good performance for the Indians over the weekend. A bit of a sloppy game yesterday. Wasn't their best effort, but they had a chance to win. Minnesota got it in extra innings, but they bounced back and really top to bottom a strong effort today.
Well, and you got to love it. You win the series. That's your goal when you set out. Let's go win 2 out of 3. They were able to get the first one. You know, last night they had an opportunity. They didn't hold on to it, but they come back and Tomlin